Hey guys, today I want to review one of my dive watches in my collection, and this in front of me is actually Tudor Pelagos LHD. It's numbered edition, not necessarily a limited edition, but it's a numbered edition. So for every single piece that Tudor produce for this piece, for this model, they will actually engrave like a number on the case back. Okay, so like me here, so it's got a number here on the case back, so it shows you this is the 6163. So they have already produced up to 6,100 pieces, slightly more than that. So this is the piece number 6,163 piece. So guys, let's talk about the watch. Today I'm gonna show you my opinion. I'm gonna tell you my opinion about this watch, what I think about it. We're gonna talk about the dial, we're gonna talk about the accuracy, we're gonna talk about the function, and basically overall aspect of this watch, guys. I really hope this video is entertaining and informative enough for you, especially for those people out there, for those of you who are considering to get this Tudor Pelagos, especially this version, because this LHD version, I can tell you, is the most popular version of Pelagos in the market. Okay, so let's get started. And so this watch, guys, first of all, let's talk about the proportion. Okay, so this watch has 22 millimeter dial, so it's actually quite a large watch. It's definitely not a small watch. Okay, I can tell you that it's 22 millimeter, but it works. It's not oversized. So I have about 6.5 inches wrist, but it's relatively flat, my wrist, and it works for me. Okay, so it appears big when I put it on, but it's definitely not oversized. And in terms of thickness, it's 14.3 millimeter. So again, it's not thin watch. Okay, but it's a diver's watch, but it's definitely not too thick. Okay, I have held like Omega watches in the past, and I can tell you Tudor does a better job in terms of thickness when we compare between Tudor and Omega watches. Oh my lord, I mean, they are lovely. I love Omega style because whatever they make, their watch tends to wear smaller, which I really like. So whenever Omega put out, like, let's say 42 millimeter or 44 millimeter watch, but when you put it on, it always wears smaller. So let's say if they put out like 42 millimeter watch, it wears actually like 40 millimeter. But like this Tudor, right, 42 millimeter case size, but I can tell you, it wears like a real 42 millimeter, so it's large. Okay, but it's not oversized. And in terms of thickness, again, Tudor does a better job compared to Omega, in my opinion. Okay, so it is thick, but it's a thick watch, but it's not too thick. And so that's the proportion. And the lock width is 22 millimeter, so it's slightly larger than the traditional 20 millimeter. But again, I don't think you will have a difficulty if you want to have like a replacement strap, because 22 millimeter, even though it's not as popular as 20 millimeter, but I still feel that it's not an odd size. Okay, it's not like 21 millimeter, 23 millimeter. That will give you a much harder time to find the replacement strap for this if you want to play with the strap. Okay, but even size like 22 millimeter, 24 millimeter, it's still relatively easy to get in the market. Okay, so this watch has 500 meters of water resistance, which I think is very, very good. Okay, so again, it's a diver's watch, guys. So 500 meters water resistant, and this is why I can tolerate like 14.3 millimeter thickness, because this watch actually can go down deeper than the Submariner, which can only go down up to 300 meter to the ocean. Okay, deep into the ocean. And then the watch is equipped with the in-house movement from Tudor, and then in terms of accuracy, it's very, very accurate. I have worn it. I have owned this for a few months now, I think 2 months. I'm not sure, but definitely more than 1 month. So I have worn it extensively. I went to the office, wear it every day, and I got about 3 seconds. So this watch gains about 3 seconds a day, which is still amazing. Okay, it's because it beats the COSC standard. COSC standard is about -4 to +6 seconds in one day, and this watch plus 3 seconds in 1 day. So this is actually better than the COSC standard, which is amazing. Okay, so yeah, so that's the accuracy. So the movement of this watch, I can say it's a good movement from Tudor. Okay, and the watch, oh yeah, one thing I want to mention as well, this watch, the bezel is amazing. Look at this, guys. Oh my god, look at this. It's amazing. Okay, the sound of it is just crisp. I really like it how it clicks. So it's very nice. I have a Sea Dweller from Rolex. It's a pre-ceramic, kind of like a neo vintage watch, and I mean it's just incomparable. I mean, when I compare how this one rotates the bezel with my Sea Dweller, this one is just a lot better, I can tell you that. So don't get biased, guys. Even though it's Tudor, a lot of people bash Tudor. You know, they always think Tudor is a lower end of Rolex. It doesn't compare to Rolex, but I can tell you, like, you don't really compromise when you buy Tudor. Okay, especially this model. This, in my opinion, is like the best Pelagos, you know, the best model for the Pelagos. But I said at the same time, in terms of like all watches that have been produced by Tudor up to this point, I would say this is the best model, and I will tell you more about that later when we touch on the value of this watch. Okay, but yes, so the bezel clicks very nicely. Okay, it's very smooth, and it's very nice. Okay, and then let's talk about the case material. Okay, so this watch is actually a titanium case, so it's light, but because it should be light. Okay, it should be light because it's titanium, right? Titanium is 3 times more solid than the stainless steel, but they are lighter. Okay, but this watch, strangely enough, I don't feel like it's actually light enough. Even though it's titanium, but it's still not heavy, but it's, I don't, you know, if somebody didn't, you know, if I don't read about it, if I don't know that this is made of titanium, I wouldn't know about it, because when I put it on, when I wear it, it doesn't feel that light. Okay, but I guess because this watch is 500 meters water resistant and it's quite thick, and I guess the size of it, the proportion of it, kind of like you know, kind of like negate the advantage of titanium for being light. And then this watch is called LHD version. So this is the LHD version. It stands for left hand drive. So the crown, instead of being on the right side, is actually on the left hand side here. So it's, you know, it's designed for a lefty. When I put it on my wrist, right, I really like it because it doesn't dig into my wrist. Okay, so normally with the normal watch, the crown is like on this side. So when let's say when I bend my wrist, you know, the crown can really touch my wrist there, and I don't really like it. But with this watch, I don't have that kind of problem because it's on the opposite side. So the watch, oh yeah, it's also it's left hand drive, and the difference between this version with the normal version, besides the crown position, this one also has a slightly different color. Like all of the color of the hour marker here, it's not really that white like a normal Pelagos, but it's slightly yellowish. It's like kind of like a beige color. And then here the Pelagos, the lettering is in a red color, so which is very nice. So it kind of mimicked the style of the new Sea Dweller 43mm from Rolex. And there used to be a Submariner with a red text, and now it's really popular in the secondary market. It's really crazy expensive. So you know, if you want to save your money and you want to get the same kind of like style, red lettering, this Pelagos LHD is the answer for you. And then Tudor is very generous as well. It gives a free rubber strap. So this is actually from Tudor. So and I still keep the bracelet, but I don't wear it with bracelet. I like you know, I like to wear a watch with a strap or rubber strap, so that's why I switch it to rubber strap. So we already talked about the titanium. And then let's see what else we can talk about. Oh yeah, the last difference, okay, not all between this LHD version with the regular version, besides the color and the Tudor text there and the crown position, and then the last one is actually the date. The date for this watch, guys, this one has a roulette date. So what does that mean? It means that so you see now it's 31st, okay, it's 31st October 31st. So for even date, the color of the date will actually turns red, but for the odd date like 31st here, it will show as the color of the date will be black like any other watches out there. So it's very quite catchy, quite unique, and quite interesting in my opinion. I don't really, I cannot really show it to you, and I'm a little bit lazy, guys, to play around with the crown and change the date, but you can go and but you can basically go to the website and see it yourself. But I just want to mention it to you just in case you're not aware that the date is a roulette date. So so like let's say for tomorrow is the first, or first is still the odd date, but when it goes to second, the fourth, then it will be red color. So it's very interesting. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this watch. Okay, so maybe to sum it up, right? I mean, I'm gonna tell you my overall conclusion, and let's talk about the value and maybe what I don't like first from this watch. I gotta be honest with you, I don't really have any major complaint with this watch. I gotta say, like, I actually kind of like it, and I don't have any complaints, to be honest. Okay, if I have to really criticize this watch, I will just say that it can get pretty boring, with Pelagos, because everything is brushed. As you can see, it's basically a tool watch. You know what I'm saying? So it can get boring. But this is why I'm getting this LHD, because if you just get a normal Pelagos, it's just white color, and black and white, and that's it. Everything is brushed. It's just toolish. It's a tool watch, okay? But with this LHD version, I mean, first of all, you get this Pelagos lettering and red color, and then there's a date roulette date that will always change every time the date changes, the color will change as well, red and black, and then the beige color for the hour marker and the numbers here on the bezel. So that makes it a little bit more interesting compared to just the traditional Pelagos. So, which is why even though Pelagos can be relatively boring, but for this watch it kind of like mitigate that a little bit. Okay, so that's pretty much my beef about this watch. Okay, so let's talk about the value, right? I think this watch has a very good value, guys. In the secondary market at this point of time, LHD, I think you can pick this one up for slightly less than $3,000, which I think is a very good value for this watch. It's amazing, guys. It's really amazing. First of all, you got a watch that has 500 meters water resistance, and then you got titanium, and then the lume. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you the lume. The lume is very amazing. It's one of the best, if not the best, in the market today. And then you got roulette date. You got red lettering, which is very interesting, and the accuracy of this watch, again, quite mind-blowing. Is 3 seconds in a day. I told you before, gains about 3 seconds, and then it's also LHD. It's designed for for a left-handed person, which is, again, it's unique. So it is very unique. It's a very unique watch, which in my opinion has its own character, and the price is not so intimidating. Guys, again, Tudor is from this, it's basically the same company as Rolex. This is a sister company of Rolex, right? And if you follow the watch market, Rolex price these days are insane. The price of Rolex pieces is getting higher and higher, and people overhype it, start to speculate, which I don't really like. So guys, just want to tell you from this review, from this video, if you don't really want to play Rolex game and you still want to get a quality watch, at a reasonable price, without that stupidity, people like, scam you, or I mean, not scam you, but I mean, like, people, like, overhype the product and shit. I can tell you, this Tudor Pelagos, you don't compromise by getting this Pelagos LHD. Matter of fact, I will say that this watch, if you just don't care about the brand, okay, if you don't care about Rolex or not Rolex, this Tudor Pelagos, right, I can say it's actually a better watch than the Submariner. Yes, I said it. Why not? Because it's it comes with a better bezel movement, in my opinion, at least to like those vintage Submariner, which is now expensive. But again, the bezel work here is a lot smoother. The color is more interesting, and also 500 meters instead of just 300 meters from Submariner. The date is all, some Submariners, like Submariner no date, doesn't even have date, but this one has a date. So again, you don't compromise basically by getting this Tudor instead of Submariner. I just want to basically point out that this watch has outstanding value. Okay, it's really, really bang for the buck kind of piece. Okay, you don't compromise by getting Tudor over Rolex. So yeah, so in terms of value, if you can pick it up for slightly less than 3,000, even if you, let's say, you pay 3,000 to slightly more than $3,000, I don't think you overpay. I think you get amazing watch, amazing value for the watch. And for those of you who right now perhaps have like Tech Heuer, you want to move up, you want to upgrade, I mean, you can consider this watch. I think you'll be very happy. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my review. I really hope this is helpful. I really hope you like this review. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you like this review or this video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.